A show about nothing. Two morons are talking. They both are really funny.
Good idea.
They just go with the flow. It's the Hershey and Keegs Show.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
Here we go. It's me, it's Tony, and it's going to be Keegs any minute. It's funny. We're doing this 7 o'clock start time. Let me just share the show real quick before I forget, Tone. We're doing the 7 o'clock start time just for the summertime, basically, because Max's basketball schedule got a little bit kooky, and ultimately, for me and making sure I can watch Max's games, we changed it up a little bit. And then I realized at 5 minutes to 7, I asked Tony, I'm like, "Where's the Keegs?" And he's like, "Shit." Or,
is that what you said?
I don't know what I said. I said something to the effect of, "I hope this motherfucker didn't forget that we're starting the show."
It was closer to something like that. Yeah, actually.
So long story short, though, Keegan is on his way. He'll be here momentarily. He did not forget the start time is a little bit earlier, but because the way it's set up, the way the production's set up, we had to either start at 7:15 or 7. So we're starting at 7, and Mikey will be in here shortly. But I actually wanted to talk a little bit to Tony about a very big weekend that he had. You interviewed. I mean, I can't even imagine for your show how you felt about interviewing Mookie Wilson, who, for you, as a diehard Met fan, a Mookie lover for probably 40 plus years.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah, man.
You Mookie lover?
You are a Mookie lover. How did that feel, man? Tell me about that.
It was really cool. I have met him in the past, like at autograph signings, and then just last month he was doing a baseball clinic in Farmingdale, which is just a few minutes from here. If people aren't familiar,
all the people throughout the country who are watching don't really know.
Never know
exactly.
Right. You got
right.
Trent, he lives in the Midwest.
And they do watch.
Right.
That's absolutely right.
Absolutely.
So thank you for pointing that out. Yes.
So when he did this clinic, I got maybe 2 minutes with him. I talked to him real quick. We took a good picture.
Yeah.
But this time, this was a full-blown interview. I had...
How long was it?
Well, actually, what they did first... So I have a connection, these guys that bring in famous athletes for signings and Q&As.
Sure.
They were running this thing where people can pay to have dinner with Mookie while watching a Met game at a restaurant.
Wow.
So they let me come to that. I didn't have to pay, which was nice because it was kind of pricey.
Yeah.
So I had dinner with Mookie Saturday night, and we sat there watching the game, and the game was on a rain delay.
Yeah.
So they actually showed the Mets. The Mets have their own Hall of Fame. The Yankees do. I'm sure every team does.
Yeah.
And they showed this year's Met Hall of Fame induction, and Mookie was there. So so we were making jokes as they showed him on the screen, and he was, "Oh, look at that handsome guy," making fun of the bad jackets that they make the
right.
inductees wear.
Yep.
So we had a good time. So and my friends who hooked me up with this, I mean, they got me a personalized autograph. They gave me an autographed baseball. They gave me another signed picture. It was insane. I actually said to one of the guys, I was like, "Look, I'm not giving you sexual favors. Like, I don't know why you're being so nice to me."
Right.
And then sure enough, he walked over to Mookie and said, "This is the guy I was telling you about with the podcast.
Yeah.
How about tomorrow we do an interview?" And
Right.
Mookie was like, "Yeah, no problem."
Just like that.
Just like that.
And where did you have to go for this? Like, where did
I had to go to Bethpage.
Yeah.
These guys who brought Mookie in, they were bringing him into their office. They had over 200 8x10s that they needed him to sign.
Wow.
Like for auctions and whatnot.
Okay.
So they're like, "Yeah, he'll be there just signing these things. He'll be there for an hour or so. Just come on in and interview him."
Just like that.
Just like that. And
Just like that.
But I'm like, "Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, guys." But in my head, I didn't have any remote equipment. We have everything in here, but it's set in place. It's not like I can't grab it and take it.
Right.
So I called Don Sill. He's got some equipment. So I was like, "Don, please tell me you're available." He actually had to change some of his schedule around. Thank you, Don.
Yeah.
So he met me there.
Great man.
He got to spend a little time with Mookie too, because Don posts these Don's random questions.
Right.
So like 2-minute clips where he asks his guests, random questions. So he
Yep.
got an opportunity to do that with Mookie.
Uh-huh.
And then I got, 20, 25 minutes with him.
Remarkable.
It was fantastic. Mookie is my all-time favorite player.
It's crazy that you got to do this.
Right.
Ridiculous.
And
Yeah.
it's like with anything. When you're a teenager,
Yeah.
you have, whether it's your favorite band or your favorite actor, when you're a teenager, you have that, those people, entertainers of some kind that kind of stick with you and they affect you in some way. So that was,
Yeah.
so it was really exciting for me. I mean, I it's 40 years later. I'm not a teenager. I'm not going to say I was starstruck, but I was definitely excited.
Yeah,
about
I mean,
it.
listen, the bottom line is in 1986, you
Right.
were 15 years old.
Yeah.
And you were impressionable, and you loved the Mets, and you loved Mookie, and now you're sitting there just like this.
Just like this.
Just bullshitting with
Yeah,
Mookie Wilson.
absolutely.
And I watched the interview.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, man, I thought it was fucking killer.
Oh, nice.
I thought you did a good job. I thought that if you were starstruck, you didn't appear to be starstruck, and I certainly could have imagined that you would have been. So, kudos to you on that.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
That was neat.
It was a lot of fun. I always, when I do my interviews, I always try to do something different.
Yeah.
Instead of the, how'd you get into baseball? Who was your inspiration?
Right.
All the same. What, especially Mookie's case. Tell us about what were you feeling when the ball went through
ball,
Buckner? Right.
blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So, and I mean, you can't avoid it. And we did touch upon it a little bit.
You didn't harp on it, though.
No, we, and I actually thought it was cool. I asked him about the only time he was ever in a fight during his Major League Baseball playing days, and he forgot all about it. And as soon as I mentioned it, he said, "Oh, I forgot about that."
What was it?
He charged the mound after to go after Tom Glavine.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, Glavine hit
Wow.
him. Mookie, he hit a home run in his at bat, and then this was at 86, 87, and then his next at bat, Glavine plunked him.
Son of a bitch.
So he was walking to first base, but then Glavine said something to him, and he charged.
That was it.
And yeah, that was it. And yeah, in my head, I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't piss him off by bringing it up, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, this is something he hasn't thought about in years. So I thought it was cool.
So not Mookie's personality, number one.
Right.
Number two, being that Mookie was around the Mets always for these past 30 years, since then, he obviously saw Glavine a lot when Glavine was on the Mets for that 4-year period of time, whatever.
Yes.
I wonder, did he mention that, his relationship with Tom after that?
He said he blamed himself. And he said, it's out of character for me. He goes, I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
He said immediately after the game, he told the reporters he overreacted. He said he did go to Glavine and apologize, and he said that was it. It never came up again. There was no awkwardness the next time he saw him. Nothing.
Amazing.
Yeah. But
so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I appreciate you saying all that.
Yeah, well, so that was the second best thing that happened from this event that you went to. The first was you made a
Right.
you made I love these things. Of course, my ego gets inflated, but you were there and you were talking to people about podcasts, governors, and apparently. So tell us what happened.
So, like I said, my buddy who brought Mookie in, he went to him, and like I said, he pointed me out and said, this is the guy with the podcast.
Yeah.
And he mentioned governors.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the night, the lady came up to me and she goes, excuse me, did I hear governors?
Yeah.
I go, yeah. She goes, governors podcast? I said, yeah. Immediately she goes, I watch Herschy and the Keegs. I was like, what the I was, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then, but that's when she's like, she goes, I'm friends with Mark. I was like, oh, okay. And then she said, your sons are friends because her son was with her.
Yeah, Max and Ryan played soccer. Now they still hang out together. And I would say that Lindsay and her husband John are two of the coolest people that I know in this town. I think I mentioned this to you via text, but
I prefer the Galenas.
You might obviously though that's my family. They're across the street. But Lindsay and John Rathgaber, who I don't, you might even know them. I'm not even sure. But
I know some Rathgabers in Wantor.
Yeah, I think they're connected. That's
Son of a bitch! I didn't know.
I think that's John's sister, maybe Sarah. I
wow.
don't know exactly, but there's some connection.
Wow.
But John and I were born like 3 hours apart from each other.
Wow.
So he's solid, and so thank you for that. That inflated my ego that people were talking positively about my show that happens to have Mike in it also. Oh, hey, Mike.
Hey, we're ready to go live?
We're ready to go.
All right.
We're ready. So let's go ahead and play it.
I was on my way in here, I got into a fist fight with Mookie Wilson outside.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was
Are you
fucking
okay?
wild.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I beat the shit out of him.
No, what did he say? That he was making fun of the guy with the
He
one
was
leg?
waiting outside for Tony. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"That's
Of
fine,
course.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Well-
you look good though.
Thank you very
Did I
much.
tell you the worst part though about meeting your friend?
No, you didn't tell me.
This, so I watch Herschy and the Keegs, and I love Mark. He's a close friend.
Yeah.
And we took the picture, and she was joking. She's like, tell him that. She said something about how much you love her or something. We were
Yes,
joking.
I totally do.
And then she turns to me and she goes, I think I've seen you on there. And I said, yeah, they're nice enough to put me on camera sometimes. She goes, right. You're the guy with the fedora.
So she thought you were.
She thought I was freaking Bosie.
Oh, Bosie.
The fedora.
No. Wait, hold on a second.
Who else wears the fedora?
Hey, Monty wears a fedora.
He does.
Bosie's never been on our show before.
You know what? The last person I thought of when he said that there was Monty, though. I'm like, Bosie. It's got to
Yeah,
be Bosie.
everybody knows Bosie for the
No,
fedora.
but Bosie's never been on our show, but Monty's been on a couple of times.
Bosie's
though.
been in here before you went on the air.
Oh, she's saying that she saw just on the station.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Our people don't watch any shows but ours. So no, she never saw Bosie. She didn't see Bosie. She saw Monty. She's talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then
So, do you feel better?
No.
Why?
And I just, not that I
age-wise,
look
they're
like
about
Jeff,
the
but
same. No, they're all about the same. Monty and Bozeman are about the same age, so both handsome men.
all right.
Yeah,
all right,
so
all
you're
right.
fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Either way, you're good.
That's a good save.
So we were
thanks.
just saying how around 6:50, I had like a little bit of paranoia, like fuck, I didn't remind this guy that we're at 7:00 tonight because it's been a couple of weeks since the show. And then as soon as I thought that, you texted you were going to be a couple of minutes late.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
what happened was we're having some new cabinets put in at Carla's house. So
Okay.
I had the guy over, so I
Yeah.
was like, cutting it close here, and then I
No,
realized
you were fine. We were going to start at 7:15, but then the way the production works, we would have to wait until late and whatever. So you're
Yeah,
here.
exactly. So I'm here,
And,
I'm
yeah,
queer.
you're good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
It's been a while since it's just been us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
had
exactly.
was it Nick Raystone 2 weeks ago?
And then we were off last week.
And then we had Fathering Autism in the middle of there.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit.
It's been almost a month since it was just
You know,
us.
I got to be honest. I'd like to start the show with positivity, but I can't because it's you, and what you do to me is it's like. Listen, you know I have my faults as a person, but when it comes down to it, one of my best assets as a person and a friend is my loyalty.
Yeah.
And I take it to a fault to the point where I get into issues with people about my loyalty with friends. I get into fights with people. And listen, over the time we've been together, there's a couple of people that we know that that you know that you don't speak to. One of them a traveling comic throughout the country who I'm friendly with, but you and him had a falling out a while back
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah.
There's another family friend that you had a falling out with some sort of, Republican spat.
I have a lot of fallings out, huh?
Yeah, you have a lot of fallings out. But I always go to bat. As a matter of fact, it happened yesterday. You had posted something, and someone who is part of whatever community you want to call it wrote something derogatory about you.
Yes.
And I didn't even want to argue. And I just wrote, delete this.
That's right.
That's all I wrote.
No,
was just-
absolutely, I saw that.
I just wrote delete this.
Yeah.
And he did. He deleted it.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's my instinct, my love for you and our show and always being defensive of you. But then you do something that I'm like, this fucking fuck. He's such a fuck.
I'm a wild card, Mark.
Oh, my God. So I'm at work yesterday. And again, whenever I say that, people like, what does that mean? Work?
Yeah, like what,
It's-
writing
what is that?
comedy or
Yeah.
sending out your availability. to the
Avail.
comedy
I'm selling my
clubs?
avails, or I'm mailing out T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly,
That
yeah.
kind of thing. And someone just very innocently texted me, dude, Pee Wee Herman died. And my first reaction was like, that's fucking sucks. Like another part of our childhood. Paul Rubens was supposedly a very good guy. He had his episode 30 years ago that he never got rid of.
The
but
one with the child porn, or the one where he jerked off at a movie theater?
the first one.
Oh, the first.
one,
Okay,
sorry.
that one.
The first
That one I'll give him the pass on.
The first one. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm not crying. It's not like when Buddy Hackett died and I was in a full blown weep mode. But I was like, shit. I felt kind of bad. And I take a little lunch break. I go into my car. I start looking at my phone, and the first thing I see,
You should know better.
I see a post from Keegan, and like I'm thinking to myself. am I going to fucking read this right now, or am I going to not read it and not be pissed off at this guy? And of course, Mike, who always finds out about the deaths before anyone, it said Pee Wee Herman died. I assume it was from a stroke.
Classic.
And I'm like, you fucking son of a bitch. Like, the guy's not literally, like, they haven't even unplugged him yet.
Still warm.
They haven't even loosened up his bow tie.
Nothing. His bow tie's on, his little tiny suit. His hair is still slicked up.
You want to hear a funny story about that post, though?
Yes.
Was I was on the phone with Carla when I thought of it, and I said, I have to call you back. I just thought of something funny about
Yes.
Pee Wee Herman to put on Facebook.
Right.
And I literally hung up on Carla to make that post.
So I just, in my mind, and again, I understand as comics that we have carte blanche, essentially. That's what the argument is, at least, which I kind of battle with that. There's certain things that I don't think, and this is not one of them, but there's certain things I don't think should be joked about. But anyway, you almost, when these things happen, you instinctively go down a dark rabbit hole to think of something not like an ode to them. It's, what can I possibly say that's going to be damning?
What's the worst thing that this person went through in their entire life?
Yeah, and it's not that difficult.
And I was coming up with like hacky things. Like, Pee Wee Herman died. What a jerk! Stuff like that.
Right.
But
Yes.
then I'm like,
Stroke is so much more clever. It's so much more clever. Listen, you took a subject with...
Because get it? When you
Stroke.
in the movie theater thing and it's stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they all got it. No, the subject itself is low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Like, if you wrote something like wishing Pee Wee well on his next big adventure,
that's
like,
cute. That's adorable. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I could have, that's what I would have said.
When
And
he gets
people
up to St. Peter's, tell him Large Marge, something like
Exactly.
that. But no, I go, even a fellow comic, one of my friends, Sean Morton, he commented on that post. He said, Mike, you're better than this. And I
Yes.
said, Sean, I assure you I am not.
Yeah. I don't understand that you're better than this. And Sean Morton's a good comic, really
Yeah,
good comic,
great
so
comic.
no knock on him at all. But I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, Rich Aronovich, who we saw a couple of... did I see him with you?
You
or
saw
with
him in the city, but
with
I
Half,
wasn't
yeah.
there.
But
You
you've
were
worked
Half,
with him
but
before.
I know Rich, yeah.
Rich Aronovich is a really good comic. He comedy seller, travels all over the country, cruises, yada yada. And at the beginning of the pandemic, he really started putting out there a social media presence where he goes out in the streets in these wacky outfits and he dances and someone looked like someone who probably wasn't a comic, but someone from his life just commented on one of these early COVID videos, like, Rich, you're so much better than this. And I remember thinking, like, she has no fucking idea what this guy's trying to do.
Yeah.
And now, 3 years later, he has multiple 100,000 followers
exactly,
on
yeah.
Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to be better than that. He was trying to make it.
Yeah,
trying to make it and hustle
That's
and
what
get
I'm
business.
Trying to do. I'm
Yeah.
putting Pee Wee Herman jokes. And
Well,
trying to make it.
the problem is a lot of your jokes have wound up getting you banned from places, though. Like the Norma Thunberg, what's her name?
Nuremberg.
No,
Greta Thunberg.
the Nuremberg case.
The Nuremberg incident with Mike Keegan.
Yes.
That's what I need out there on social media.
So-
Yeah, Mike Keegan and the Nuremberg thing. Like,
But
not enough people
you're
think
fearless. You don't care. You knew. Listen, all kidding aside, there are things sometimes that I come up with in my mind, and I know they're so horrible that I can never post them. But you sometimes will.
But you text them to me,
Yes.
so I'll post it. Yeah.
and then I sit there and I watch. So I'll think of something horrific. And then I'll be like, I can't post this. My mother will see it. My aunt in New Jersey will see it. And
You're like
they'll
a
comment.
a joke cook.
Yeah, I cook it up, and then I send it to Mike, and then I watch as he gets fucking nailed by people. People just like, you're a piece of shit. But then you get like some people who obviously think it's hilarious, and then I'm a little jealous that I didn't get those accolades.
Yeah.
The mind of a comic is so fucking twisted.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous that I literally watch to see how you do.
But I'll tell you, when I post something like that, Pee Wee Herman was probably the biggest part of my life when I was a little kid. I love him. I'll always love him.
I mean, I would say those days on the couch when you were a teenager were pretty much formed on Pee Wee Herman type of stuff. It certainly wasn't the Bionic Man or whatever.
Yeah, I was sitting next to my friend and we were on Couchy.
Yeah.
No,
You loved him.
No, I loved Pee Wee Herman. I loved him as him. I loved him as Paul Rubens. I loved him. He was phenomenal in the movie Blow.
Right.
But it's just, the joke was there, and I put it there. It doesn't mean I
Raging
don't
Bull,
like him.
Cuckoo's Nest. He was. What else was he in? Big,
yeah.
Castaway.
Yeah, that's
he was
right.
in all these. Yeah. But people did really love him. I will tell you that the after seeing your horrific thing, I thought of people who were fond of him, and my neighbor Sue across the street has always been a Pee Wee junkie. Like she quotes from the movies, she knows everything, and she's like devastated about it. So I made sure to tell her to not look at Mike's post though. She didn't, but rest in
So
peace,
now I have
Paul
to inbox
Rubens,
it to her.
who apparently, you find out about these things when someone passes away in the acting community or comedy community. There was tons of people that were very close with this guy that said he was an unbelievable actor, an inspiration, a writer, all this stuff that you just don't really know about.
Did any of them super surprise you?
No.
You know who surprised me? Who was like a close friend of his?
Who?
And they like went to school together and shit, like acting school. David Hasselhoff.
Wow.
They were very,
The
very
Hoff?
close. The Huff and Pee Wee were very, very close.
That would have been a great name for a podcast, The Hoff and Pee Wee.
Hey, it's available now.
Yeah, it is. What,
Pee
the
Wee
Hoff
and
dead too?
Pee Wee and the Huff.
No.
No, but he's
Pretty much. You might as well be.
Might as well be. He's eating cheeseburgers off the floor.
Remember that? What a disgusting animal.
Can we be Pee Wee and the Huff from now on?
I mean, this isn't working out, so so that would be good.
But yeah, David Hasselhoff was a close friend.
Can I
of
be
his.
Pee Wee? I
Yeah.
feel like I should be
Yeah,
Pee Wee because I
yeah.
have the micro penis. Yeah. So wow, that's cool. I did not see that. I saw a message that he had sent, like a little video message to Kathy Griffin, the comic.
Yeah.
And this must have been like a year or two, but it was so goddamn funny. Like it was Paul Rubens. It wasn't Pee Wee Herman. And I'm like, shit, I wish I understood just how funny this guy was. Now I'll obviously follow up a little bit,
If you only know him from Pee Wee Herman, it's
Yeah.
one thing, but also like when he was in the Cheech and Chong movies, phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know him from that. I really don't.
Awesome.
I have no idea about any of that
He was
stuff.
he was a cocaine guy in the
I knew he was in Goodfellas. I liked him a lot. No. How many times can I use this
He's
joke?
in the-
how many times am I gonna?
He's in the Forest Hills, I think.
The Forest Hills. Yes. Speaking of the Forest Hills, that was the movie that our boy Nick Raystone is going to be
Correct.
in. Little development that's happened since 2 weeks ago. Nick,
Big development.
Big
actually.
development. Nick has taken this this fame to another level. His he is the armchair detective for the Rex. What's the guy's name? Ryan.
Rex Ryan, yeah, the foot guy. Rex Heuerman.
Yeah.
I passed by his house the other day.
Did you? Did you?
Juliana's voice lessons are 4 blocks away from there in
Yeah.
Massapequa Park. So I knew it was in the area, but I'm like, let me drive around for a little bit. But
Yeah.
I made a right after where her voice lesson is, and I see 7th Avenue. I'm like, I know this guy lives on 1st Avenue. So
Yep.
I'm like, you know what?
That's like 6.
Yeah, 6,
Right.
5, 4. And little do you know, after that, it was 3, 2, and then 1.
1.
Yeah, after the 2.
1. Right.
I make a right, and I'm like, there's nothing going on. But I made a left, and I saw 3 cop cars like, posted outside
Yeah.
of his house. But I drove by his house. Creepy, man.
Creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
Max and I
creepy.
were on the case the day after, like that weekend we were over there.
Yeah.
I took Max and his little buddy Christian, and they were like, "What are we doing here? Why did you bring us here? It's Sunday. It's 85 degrees. Why aren't we in a swimming pool?
Exactly, yeah, right,
We're out here
exactly.
in some maroon, shuttered, broken down house."
You know, Joey Petroni lives over there. He's only 3 houses
Oh,
away.
it's- oh,
3 or
really?
4
He's
houses.
done this-
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
wow, I
his
didn't know he
whole
was on
world
the same
was,
Rocked.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
big time.
So,
I didn't realize he was that close.
And not to cut you off real
Yeah.
quick, the team that you were nice enough to come see that I helped coach.
Oh, yeah.
Rex's son used to be on that team.
Oh, really?
I
No
didn't
shit.
know that the last time you guys
Son
were
of a
here.
bitch.
Wow.
I was that kid's coach for years.
Do you have any
Rex did show up once.
Yeah?
I remember him
Wow.
show. The mother would come maybe 2 or 3 times per season.
Really?
But Rex, of all the years I coached him, he only showed up once.
Well, the wife
He was very busy.
the wife had to go away a lot, so Rex could take care of his business.
Exactly.
Softball games and killings. That was really it.
And speaking of you and Joey Petroni,
Yeah.
I saw Comic Sans the other night.
Oh wow!
I went to the screening at the Regal in Lynbrook of
Yes,
the Comic
I
Sans.
wanted to go. I was out with my wife for our anniversary. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I missed that, Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
But it was part of the Long Beach Film Festival.
Yeah.
And Carla, me, and Juliana came with us too to see it.
Okay.
And it was phenomenal. It was great.
Fuck.
You know what? It was really so good. I was like super impressed with everybody.
Wow.
And
Even Eric Haft.
Eric,
Yeah.
No, Eric's great.
So I heard people did tell me it was phenomenal. I will get to see it.
Tony was fucking awesome.
I heard.
Thank you, pal.
I heard,
Yeah.
man.
I appreciate that.
Believe me, I'd been away for 5 days, came back, and Stacey and I went out for our anniversary. Otherwise, I would have been there, and I apologize for that.
nothing to
There'll be
apologize
more.
for.
You come next time because it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was there. We took Juliana, and they got driven by Bozy. Bozy was there, and he's in the movie.
Oh, excellent.
Juliana was so excited when she saw Jeff up on the movie theater screen.
Unreal.
She's like, Jeff, oh my God, that's
Uncle Jeffrey.
She's screaming, Jeff, that's you on the screen. I'm
That's so cool.
Was that you that yelled when he first came on? What'd you say? I heard the voice, but
I think I just said something like, Bozy!
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
that was you.
That's mature.
But it was
that
cool. It was
movie
really
theater.
good. Yeah, no, exactly. That's I'm not allowed at the next screening.
So
It was
just
great.
let's touch on Nick for a second. So Nick obviously has been, aside from all the media that he got right at the beginning with the TV interviews, he was on our show. He was on Anthony DiDomenico's very popular podcast, Keep Moving Forward. And he had reached out to, I don't know if it was me, Tony, you, I think it was me. Long story short, he's going to be starting his own podcast right here at Governor's Comedy Club Radio Podcast Studio on Tuesdays. I think at the beginning he'll be going on
He's
after
taking
us.
over for us. We're
he's
out.
replacing
We're
us.
out. He's replacing
Yeah.
This is our last show.
It's called Primal Scream with Nick Greystone.
Awesome.
He's starting on August 8th. For the first few weeks, he'll be going on after us, and then we resume to regular schedule in the fall. He'll be going on before us.
Yep.
But Nick is going to be putting it out there, and it's not just going to be about his passion for criminal investigations. It's going to be Demon Scar, his band. It's going to be music. It's going to be current events in the media, things like
Cool.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so
fun.
we're super, super stoked about that.
He's definitely a good character.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy his show.
He's a
And
great
that's
person.
what they do with like the shows like on NBC and stuff. Like the new show comes in and they put it on after the big show.
Right.
It's like it leads into it to
Yeah.
get them popular.
And then
it goes back to
there's
the
this
regular
what
time.
happened. Just
So that's exactly what we're doing here.
It was just because it was available. That was the only
it's
thing. That was why.
Because Max has basketball.
It's about Max's basketball league, but we're excited for Nick. It's going to be great.
Yeah, congrats, Nick.
Speaking of Rex Heuermann and his wife, who is back in the house with the kids, and it's very sad because she has her 20-something-year-old daughter and the son who has learning some sort of disability. Tony, I don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
he's on the spectrum, and
On the
he's
spectrum.
33 years old.
33.
Oh, I thought he was younger. I didn't
No, he's
realize
33. Yeah.
So they're back in the house, and I've been reading articles, and basically their house was like a tsunami hit it. I mean, their stuff is in it, but it's just all over the
Oh, yeah,
floor.
they're digging
it's
up the
just
backyard.
ransacked.
Well, there's pictures. It's been
Yeah, I
floating
saw
to the
those
internet.
pictures. Yeah,
They broke the poor kid's guitar, which
it's like
breaks my heart.
It's ridiculous. So I saw today, and I sent it to you earlier. I don't know if you saw it because I bombarded you with text. But the daughter of the Happy Face Killer, is that the name of the killer
Happy
from
Face
many years
Killer.
ago?
Yeah.
I guess
1995, I believe, was the Happy Face Killer.
knowing what it's like to be a child or involved with a serial killer and to be surprised like they were, like Rex Heuermann's wife and his kids were. The Happy Face Killer's wife and kids were the same situation where they had no idea that their father was living this horrible life. So this woman has actually started a GoFundMe to help these people kind of build their life, to help her with her legal case as far as getting the divorce from Rex and maybe getting out of that shithole of a house.
Yeah.
Because how do you can't recover from that. And even if you do, you're in this dilapidated house that this murderer was living in.
You have enough going on mentally
That's right.
to
Yeah.
have to worry about finances and everywhere you look in that house and memories that come back. Like, oh my God, maybe I knew, maybe I realized what was going on.
Maybe I
It's
missed
hard.
something.
Maybe I missed something. Maybe I
Right.
could have saved. The things that come up. It's gonna screw you up living in that house.
Yeah, I shouldn't have ignored that 22-year-old cadaver in the kitchen. Shouldn't have walked past that day.
He said he was going to med school. I don't know.
All the screaming. I shouldn't have
Yeah, exactly.
You know, to me, and I thought it was going to happen. I did not realize they'll be like, all right, we're done. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, right?
I thought they were just going to bulldoze the whole fucking place.
That's what I thought. Those people are living in that house right now.
I mean, that's living in the house. And she said she made 3 or 4 steps into the kitchen, and that was it. She couldn't get around anywhere else because everything was just thrown on the floor.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I understand that the law had to do its job.
Oh, you have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, but for them to have to go back to that, there should be some sort of provision. Again, I'm not knowledgeable about the law, but
Some kind of serial killer insurance you can take
right,
out.
like a foundation. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Like Wilford Brimley should be doing this. Like, make sure you got your serial killer foundation and diabetes. Yeah, that's true. Well, so we'll be contributing.
We'll be
to
donating.
That.
We're the top donors right now.
Well, the top donors. She had a couple.
They had
of
like
grand in there.
$8,500.
Yeah, she had a couple of grand. And honestly, and Tony just mentioned it, I hope they get that kid a new guitar.
Yeah, I'll get the kid a guitar.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we should
You know
do.
what?
Like
We
to give
should.
ourselves a little notoriety.
Not a bad idea.
Exactly.
They're actually he's in a band
Yes.
with some other special needs musicians.
Oh.
They're playing the Jones Beach Boardwalk. I think it's a week from today. I think they're playing.
And the son's gonna be playing.
I don't know if he's going to be there. I have no reason to think he won't be there. Well, except for the fact his guitar is broken.
the band.
Maybe I'll bring him.
He'll just be there with a broken guitar.
The band is called Creed.
It's Big Shot. Big Shot.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing guitars.
Oh, I'm going to see them. Actually,
You
I'm
are?
going this Saturday to see my favorite band, OAR. at Jones
OAR,
Beach, yeah.
wow. Now, that I'm assuming is a sold-out Meadowlands?
Jones
Is it?
Beach, probably half sold at Jones Beach. No, they're opening for the Goo. They're opening for the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good show.
It is a good show, yeah.
And that's a good spot for them that they get an opening spot like that for the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who did you sucker in to go to that show with you?
Carla, she bought me tickets for Christmas, I think. So.
This I got to tell you, between Mike and his mother and Carla, they buy each other more fucking concert tickets, and you guys have been unplugged in the city steam room and
the city steam room. And even like you had mentioned that Monty was having people over for that Jets Bills game September 11th.
Yeah, just I'm glad you announced it to everybody. Yes.
Chris Monty, if any of you guys aren't doing anything, September 11th.
Me, you, and Half. And Burke. Now
Burke's
everybody.
going,
yeah,
man.
yeah, and Burke.
Now.
Yeah.
But my mom got me tickets for my birthday. My 40th birthday is next month.
So the thread, you were not on it actually, and the first thing I wrote was because of course, again, being fucking loyal to Keegan, it's me, Half, Burke, and Monty on the text, and it's like September 11th, 8:00 is game time. Show up at 7. We'll do booze and cigars in the driveway, yada yada. And my first response was, I go nowhere without Keegan.
Nice.
And Monty was like, sure, absolutely invite him. And then Burke's first thing, because it's on September 11th, is I'm only coming if I can do a public presentation about how 9/11 was an inside job. So I said I might come right after that.
Oh man, I love hanging out with Burke. I'm
and Half is already smoking meat. For it.
I'm sure he is.
He's smoking meat for
sure
it.
he
So
is.
you're going to the game with
my
Carla,
friend Vinny.
Vinny,
But my
okay.
mom got me the tickets for my birthday.
So, do you guys ever buy any scratch offs aren't sold anymore? Where you guys live in East Meadow? Every
No,
fucking
it's $500 tickets to a Jet Bills.
it's just
Monday Night
unbelievable.
Football game.
You motherfuckers, you guys have some money. You guys
No,
buy
we
each
don't.
other
We
up.
just spend everything
Everything
that
on
comes in on
tickets.
each other. Yeah.
Do you guys just get like ads in your email? Like every goddamn email. I'll buy that show. I'll buy it. Every single show that comes across.
The worst impulse buyers.
I'll buy it. It's so funny. So good. You're gonna have a good weekend. We've missed a lot of stuff. Like I don't even know if I had told you that. Me and Anna and Stacy and Max and one of Anna's friends, we did a little water park / Saratoga trip. Did we cover that?
We didn't cover it here, but you
Yeah, so we did that, and there's a couple of things that I need to talk about that I took away from that trip, and this by no means has anything to do with being derogatory about people of large weight or anything like that. But there was something that I saw. I was in the wave pool at this Zoom Flume water park, okay, and there was a large black fellow, and when I say large, I don't mean like he wasn't like he was heavy, but the first thing wasn't like, oh my god, look at that morbidly obese man.
Yeah.
he had a full set of women's breasts and shirtless. Now again, like it wasn't because like there are people who are heavy that just you just see a lot of girth no this man, it was like he had just a full perfect set
like a
a
nice
36
D-cup.
like let's put it this way, I couldn't leave the wave pool for like 5 minutes.
It was actually just a pool until he got in.
I couldn't leave the wave pool. I was like I felt it move a little, and they were perfect in every way.
Yeah.
Like what how did
You just couldn't take your eyes
I
off
could
of these
not, and I was
delicious
they
Nubian
were just,
breasts.
They were just gorgeous. They were gorgeous, and he wasn't. But these things were just perfection.
Yeah.
Did
you take a squeeze?
I in my mind, I'm thinking like, has no one ever said to him like maybe like I don't even know what the answer would be, a shirt,
They get one of those compression shirts that you wear in the pool,
or like just a shirt, like
That's what I used to wear before I got into this.
No, now you're ripped,
physical condition,
and you're ripped and you're diesel. But
like so one of those compression swim shirts, wear something like that, or one of those old timey trunks and
he could have worn like a leotard type
wrestling
of thing,
singlet.
A singlet he could have worn.
You know what I would have done though? I would have pretended a wave smashed me into him and got a nice quick little grope.
Just held on for as long as I could have.
Like whoops!
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't have my phone on me because I've lost phones in water parks before. But just tweaking his nipples for 10 minutes. They were obviously, if I'm bringing it up, you can imagine how it's been on my mind. And obviously, when it's late at night and no one's awake, it's on my mind.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Like it's not. No, it's not. I'm telling you. So that's what you think of when you think of a large, heavy-set person. I'm telling you that's not what it looked like, though. I'm telling you, these were full tits. These were like a full set of meat bags.
Yeah, these are.
Yeah, these were like if Tyra Banks was topless, she'd be in a wave pool attached to a 500-pound black man in Zoom Flume. That's what they were. Yeah. So I just want to thank him for what he gave me, and I'll never forget it.
Thank you, Oprah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was really pretty fucking
How were
remarkable.
the nipples were they
just silver dollars, just
Oh,
perfect in every way. Yeah, perfect in every way.
They were like Hershey Kiss.
Yeah, they definitely, and it was a little, obviously when you got hit with the wave, of course, there's like a, a little chill, It wasn't, it's upstate, so there's a little cool mountain breeze, and this water park is right in the middle of a mountain, basically.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So you get a little crisp breeze, and I was waiting for the breeze, It was like a whole, like a wait and see game, what was going to happen next, the breeze, or when the bell goes off. Yeah, no, that was me that day. Yeah, I'm in the pink. I'm in the pink top.
Exactly.
That's me.
I'm tempted to show that one.
Did Max have any choice comments about it?
Oh no, Max. I don't even know where Max was. Because if Max would have seen it,
Oh
it would
my
have
God!
been
Exactly.
It would have been a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Would have been a whole fucking thing. But they were perfect in every way, and I missed them.
Yeah.
And it was really a great trip. And then Max and I did a little baseball trip. We did DC and Philly.
Saw that? How cool was that?
Yeah, man, it was cool. And we did something. My friend Amanda, she goes to a lot of Yankee games, and one of the tricks that her son actually taught me is that he's a diehard Yankee fan, but he wears the opposite shirt of the team that they're playing for batting practice, so that the players who are on the other team see this little kid dressed in an Orioles jersey or whatever the case may be.
Genius.
So I'm like, the Yankees aren't playing. What's the difference? He doesn't care. So the Washington Nationals were playing the San Francisco Giants. So a week before we went, I bought him an orange San Francisco Giants shirt.
No shit.
Puts it on. We're out in the outfield for the first game. We left that first game with 8 balls.
No shit.
8
Wow.
fucking balls.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I got 3 thrown to me, 2 by the left fielder for the Nationals, or the right fielder. Max got a few thrown to him. We even gave 2 away.
Really?
We were just getting balls left and right.
That's genius.
Yeah, it is genius. It
I
felt
feel
kind of
like my whole
scumbaggy.
childhood is wasted now.
Yeah, it felt scumbaggy.
Yeah.
Because I went as a kid to a million Yankee games. I caught 1 ball. Batting practice, 1990 something. Bernie Williams hit a ball. It bounced off of Jim Abbott's neck in the outfield and into my glove. Yeah, it bounced.
He missed it. He didn't get the glove.
He couldn't
tossed
get
over in time.
Oh, no, I can't get it. Yeah, sorry, Tony. But no, I know that's your idol. It's the only guy you had.
It's his arm, not his leg.
It's the one guy that Tony had to root it for as a kid. You know.
And Mookie Wilson.
Yeah, that's right.
I got one also, probably the same age
day,
as you,
yeah.
same day probably.
Yeah.
Bobby Bonilla, ground ball in at Shea Stadium, the old Shane Stadium.
Yep.
Ground ball batting practice.
Now, where is Shane Stadium?
Shane Stadium was kind of near where Citi Field is now.
Oh, okay.
You know where the old Shea Stadium was?
So when it got knocked down, you yelling, "Come back, Shane! Come back, Shane!"
It was near where the old Shea Stadium was.
Okay, I
but
gotcha.
they
Next to
played there
Shea.
when they were doing the renovations.
So Bobby hit it.
Shane Stadium.
So Bobby hit it, and then what?
Bobby hit it. Umpire picked it up and tossed it to me in the stands.
It's the worst, Mike. Fuck. You couldn't lie about the story?
Bobby Bonilla came over to me and said, "Hey,
I'll show you the Bronx." And he popped it out of his ass into your hand.
hey, this team's gonna be paying me for the next 45 years. Here's a ball."
I never caught a ball in at the Ducks. I've caught a couple of balls, but I've never caught an actual foul ball.
I came very close one time, Yankee game. I was with my buddies in college. Had a few beers in me, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 beers in
10.
me, and I'm holding one, and we're in the upper decks and the first base line, screaming foul ball. I forget who hit it.
Yeah.
Screaming foul ball,
Sure.
comes right at me. And I put my hand up to catch it, and I had the beer in the other hand,
Yeah.
so I wasn't dropping my
Nope,
beer.
you weren't.
And the thing just slapped it into my hand.
Wow.
Almost, I might have broken a part of a metatarsal.
You broke a metatarsal for sure.
broken a
Right.
metatarsal.
Yeah.
But I dropped the ball, and the whole section booed me.
Are you kidding me?
And dude, I went home and I listened to it, and also you could see the stitching of the ball on my hand, like that's how hard it came.
Shit.
But I went home and I watched the game over, and I could see the foul ball come, and you hear the whole section booing me for dropping the ball.
Oh my
And I was
God.
walking out of the stadium at the end of the game, and some like 80-year-old guy's like, "Hey, nice hands, buddy."
Way to go, metatarsal. Dude, that's
That
the
was
worst.
the closest I came to catching like a game foul ball, but.
So the first game that my grandpa Lester, he took my cousin Al and I to the Yankees A's. We were 10 years old, so it was 1981. And the Yankees actually went on to play the A's because it was a strike season.
Yeah.
You were born in 81, right?
83.
83. So before you were born, Yankees and A's strike season. They wound up playing each other in the playoffs to go to the World Series that year. But it was a regular season game. We're in the left field seats, and Tony Armas, who was obviously a boomer for them.
Yeah. And the only player to have 4 body parts in his name. Tony Armas.
Now that's not something you just thought of. That's something that you knew about, and we didn't discuss this before. But because you're so quick,
Yeah, just thought of it right now.
did you really?
I didn't.
You knew that.
I didn't, yeah.
So Tony Armas hits the ball, and he crushes one, and so it's my grandfather, me, cousin Al, and we all jump up, and the ball hits the top of my hand. Okay, and it goes a few rows behind, and it was like the 3rd inning, and it was ruined. Like
The whole game's ruined. That's all you
ruined.
think
No one
about,
booed
right?
or anything like that, because it was the kind of thing where the ball was screaming. It was a fucking
exactly,
blast.
Yeah.
And but he never took us to a game again. He died within 2 years from that day, probably because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
That ruins the whole game for you. One time,
and my life.
I remember
basically.
one time, my aunt took me and my cousins to a WWF match at Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
And got us floor seats. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. What surprise. It's just pathetic. I mean, it's not bad. It's embarrassing that no one else goes to as many events as this family.
I was also like 8.
Yeah.
But Mr. Perfect,
Kurt Hennig. Yeah.
used to throw his towel into the audience.
Yes, he did.
And he threw his towel into the audience, and I grabbed it, and some kid behind me grabbed it. And we both had it at the same time, but I guess he was a little bit older, the kid behind me,
Yeah.
and just yanks it out of my hand.
Wow.
And I was like crying, and I'm like, I was trying to like, beg him to like give me the towel. I'm like, I was sitting in front of you, and I had it first, and everyone told me to just let it go, and it just ruined the whole event for me.
Son of a bitch. We are such goddamn losers.
We really are.
Such losers.
Started when we were young, and it hasn't
Well,
stopped.
so this is the difference between losers and winners, okay? So we're losers.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. The last game of the 1986 regular season, I had gotten tickets. Someone gave me tickets to the Met game, and I was there with one of my very, very, very close friends, Dom Fontana. And so what happened?
I feel like you make all these names up.
No. As a matter of fact, Dom Fontana's daughter and he were on ESPN on Friday night. Not ESPN Plus, Triple Plus. ESPN was the Little League Championships heading to the World Series, to the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
And the team from Massapequa played at 7 o'clock prime time on Friday night.
Oh, wow.
So we're watching the game with Alexis, his daughter, and
Yeah.
Dom. And Dom's a winner. Dom's a winner. Best athlete I've ever seen. Used to score 25 points a game in high school in basketball. The whole gym would get packed
It's like
for
a
him.
winner's name, too.
He's Dom Fontana is a winner. Dom's a winner. Anyway, so we're at this game, the last game of the season, and we have seats like 2 or 3 rows off of third base, okay? And there was no nets back then. You'd get killed by a ball,
Yeah.
or you'd catch it, or it would hit you in the chest, and someone else would get it. So Ron Oster was playing for the Reds. Remember Ron Oster used to be a Reds infielder? Yep. Hits a screaming line drive foul, okay? I duck under my seat. Everyone else is like scurrying like it's fucking, Vietnam and a bomb's coming in. And Dom reaches up, the winner that he is. And I could picture it because I was like this looking up, reaches up, and he just snaps the ball, and it had to be 100 miles per hour. Yeah. Caught it, and his hands were fried red for days. But it didn't matter because he caught a fucking foul ball.
He's a winner.
And he's a winner.
Man.
Yeah, and I had a little bit. He's also the first and only person that has ever bowled a 300 game on Wii in my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we used to have big Wii tournaments when
Probably
the kids
never
were
even played before.
Never played. Just picks up the thing. He's like, I'll try this. And can I tell you, it was pretty fucking intense when this happened.
I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I've never met him.
He's a winner. He's a winner. I love the guy. Him and his daughter and the whole family will be in North Carolina Monday, August 7th, back on ESPN for the Little League World Series.
That's awesome.
From Massapequa.
Ah, Go Fontanas.
So he's a winner.
I don't really hate you, Dom.
Yeah, he's a winner, and I'm not a winner.
Jealous.
But so what we did for this trip, by the way, so we got to DC on Saturday. We went to the DC San Fran game that night. Mm-hmm. We went to Philly on Monday to catch the Phillies versus the Orioles. And we had a day in the middle where we were still staying in D.C. and we could have either gone to another game, or I really wanted Max to see some history. I wanted him to see some Washington, D.C., even though I knew he wasn't into it.
It sounds like it's right up Max's alley.
But you know what it was? It was 90 degrees in D.C., day game on Sunday. Yeah. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to buy tickets for us to go on the trolley. There's an open air trolley that you're covered, and it takes you so you can at least see the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the White House, the
Washington Mama.
I saw my Washington Mama there. All the places.
Yeah.
You don't have to get out. You should get out because it's a hop on, hop off type of thing.
Yeah.
Most people get out and take pictures. We obviously didn't get that far, So we did that on the Sunday, but not after the calamity that happened on Saturday night. So we get out of the game, and our hotel is maybe like 3 miles from the stadium. Mm-hmm. In Washington, D.C., you get out, and it is bedlam there. Total bedlam. The hotel had told us, you just hop in a cab. Well, after 30 minutes, no cab, you can't get one, and all the Ubers are taken and whatever. And Mr. Impatience, of course, is like, I'm not staying here. We're just walking. And I knew it was a horrible idea. I just knew it was a horrible idea, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And the first mile was okay. There were people with us. Even the second mile, there was like little groups of people. By the time we get to the 3rd mile and approaching the hotel, we're in the desperate, empty streets of DC, and I am scared out of my wits, and I'm mad at myself, not because I put myself in harm's way, but because I put my son in harm's way. At least I thought I did. Yeah. He's cracking up because he's fucking fearless. He doesn't give a shit. But I'm like, this is all your fucking fault. He doesn't realize
how shitty of an area DC
it was
actually
bad.
is.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's your fucking fault. This is never happening again, yada, yada. So fast forward to Sunday. I get the instructions as to where we meet the trolley, okay? Yeah. So they say you have to walk up to the Air and Space Museum, and it's there. So the Air and Space Museum, unbeknownst to me, is a full city block. So where is it going to be? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then in front of the Air and Space Museum is about 35 gyro trucks, pizza vans, ice cream. Like you can't, all the signs are blocked.
Yeah,
so you can't see.
Yeah.
So now I'm back into that mode of just walking
Get
aimlessly.
lost again, yeah.
But at least it was during the daytime. It wasn't that bad. Anyway, finally, after a half hour of roaming around, I see the trolley, okay? Yeah. The trolley, I'm like, Max, come on. I grab him. We run onto the trolley. And the lady who was the bus driver / tour guide is a black woman in her mid-60s. And
how were her breasts?
These things were perfect. Perfect nipples. No.
You saw a lot of black breasts this week.
Yeah, that's all I did. Yeah. We went to KFC also. And
Oh, Mark.
No.
No.
The breasts, the chicken breasts.
Yeah.
The dark
Did you go to
meat.
the watermelon factory too, Mark?
No, you animal, no. I was saying the dark meat breasts. It was a chicken joke.
I got you. Okay.
Chicken joke. Anyway, so she's like, "What's the matter, baby?" And she's like, "Is everything okay?" Because I was fatouched at this point. I was hot, sweaty. I was angry. I was frustrated. He was pissed.
schwitzing?
I was soaked, drenched. So she's like, "Everything okay?" I'm like, "Nah, it's horrible. It's freaking hot as hell out. We missed the goddamn bus, the cab last night. I had to walk 3 miles. This kid's pissed off." I gave her everything, okay? Unbeknownst to me, as I turn around to go walk into my seat, that she had us mic'd up the whole time. So these people are laughing. Everyone on the bus is laughing. But they're not laughing with me. They're laughing like, look at this fucking clown.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
this idiot is complaining to this woman on the
My
bus.
God. You're giving the tour of your shitty life.
Because usually if you're on, she had the mic here, she could have just lifted it up, but I wasn't even looking at her.
Oh my God.
I wasn't even looking at her.
Oh my
so,
God.
of course, Max is like, they heard the whole thing. The whole
He's
crying
mortified.
act. Yeah, so he was mortified by that. And, we got through it 2 hours later. He's like, that was the worst thing I've ever dealt with in my entire life. But we got there.
Or was it actually kind of cool?
I mean, I thought it was cool just because you saw some things, but in order to really appreciate it, you have to get off and not Pee Wee Herman get off, but like get off the bus and go walk to the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial. What is it called?
Washington Monument.
Yeah,
and Lincoln
yeah.
Memorial,
So we saw them, and I took pictures of them, but he could give no shits at all. But we went to the next
This
game.
is Hunter Biden's trap house.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a nice time.
That's awesome.
And,
You went to 2 different baseball.
So we went to 2
That's
stadiums.
awesome.
We got 2 more balls in Baltimore. So that was cool. And
Was it the black fella from the?
yes, it was him. We have the big titties. We saw him. So it's been good. What else have you been up to? I know there's always stuff that's.
We had a big weekend. First of all, I have a big show coming up this weekend, Friday night. I'm going to be right here in the Giggle Room.
Let's push this.
I want to really push it because I'm doing it. Carla and Kathy Arnold are producing it.
Oh wow!
So it's going to be me, Carla, Kathy Arnold, and Emily Santosis. So it's a girls' night out.
Girls' night out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's their production, but I am closing it, and I am actually recording 20 minutes squeaky clean.
Oh wow!
For because I'm submitting a tape to the
Dry Bar.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
Mike, that's a big move for you,
Yeah.
bro.
So I have
Congratulations.
somebody who's going to sponsor me for it. So
Okay.
I'm having it recorded, but it has to be a 20-minute squeaky clean set. So I'm closing it.
Yep.
I've never closed doing squeaky clean though, really, because I always like to give
Spice
the
it up a
audience a
little
little
bit.
bit of my spice, a little bit of my sass,
Yep.
a little
of
bit
course.
of my New York sass.
Yeah, a little love.
So I'm going to close it doing squeaky clean comedy, and hopefully I don't get booed off the stage. But it's going to be Friday night right here in the Giggle Room at Governor's in Levittown. Tickets at govs.com. Come get it. Come support me because I'm not really I'm out of my comfort zone a little bit.
So when you say squeaky clean, I mean I've seen Dry Bar that, it's clean, but squeaky makes it seem like you'd only do it in a church. I think you can spice it up a little bit more than that.
But I'm cutting out any kind of like any drug stuff that I do, or
Okay.
even like the drinking stuff, or
Okay.
the rape joke that I tell, which is
Okay.
an adorable rape joke.
It's as cute as it gets.
But I'm cutting all that out, so I'm just gonna tell a couple stories. There's some new stuff that I've been working on that I'm gonna
Okay.
do. So yeah, even if you've seen me before and you hate seeing the same material, I'm gonna be doing some new stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's why people don't come out to see me.
So govs.com for Mike, Carla, Kathy Arnold, Emily Santosis. That's a powerful show.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good show, and there's a couple other newcomers going to be on the show.
Who else do you have on there?
Nikki Diaz,
Nikki D. Yep.
Gary Port,
Gary Portnoy.
Kevin Seaman.
Yep. He's a Fisher guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Fishing guy.
Yes, he is a Fisher guy. And I think that's it. It's not too many people on the show. It should be good. Maybe a surprise guest or two will pop on.
Pop in.
Maybe
You don't know.
Mark Hirschman will stop by. I don't know. You never know. But
You
it'll
do
be
know.
fun.
That'll never happen.
That'll
but,
never happen.
yeah.
I know.
That's going to be a great show.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it.
How are ticket sales so far? Okay.
Not great. That's why I'd like to push it.
All right.
so yeah.
let's push it on the on the Herschy and Keegs Facebook page tonight.
Yeah, but I'm assuming like right now people are already snatching tickets up.
And you and I both have a tendency to get people buying tickets last minute for shows.
Exactly. Yeah.
So and
support an old chunk of coal.
I would say that you'll be at least half filled for that room.
I would hope so.
Your mom will be there.
I'll be happy with that. No, probably not.
Mom's not coming?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
But,
okay. It'll work out.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be Friday night at the Giggle Room. Right
Is this a late night show? What's
no, 8 o'clock show, primetime show.
Okay, good.
And yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
So yeah,
really
I'm
good.
looking forward to that.
So,
and then other than that, just been a busy weekend. Had some shows this weekend. I was with our buddy Eric Heft.
How's Eric Heft doing?
Oh, he was great. We had a phenomenal show. We did 89 North in Patchogue.
You did?
Which is a great venue.
Lovely.
So it was a music comedy night, and Eric, Eric, and John Ziegler did a little comedy up front.
Correct.
And then his brother is
Craig Heft.
Craig Heft.
Yeah.
What a talent.
Wow.
Holy crap.
So that's where the talent went.
Really, you know what it is? And two talented as shit guys. And not only Eric a great comic, but I'm sure we've mentioned it, he's a great musician, but
terrific.
He said he learned everything from Craig. Craig is 4 years older than him.
Yep, of course.
And I've seen Craig do like backyard parties and stuff.
Yeah,
he plays keyboard, sing.
Little.
But he was with a full 10-piece soul band.
Wow.
Soul Jam Review.
Wow.
And two black fellas up front singing, and another one on the trumpet, and then a couple of white guys.
Yeah.
That's the worst description of the band ever.
Jesus
but I'll tell you, you think of like a soul band, you think of the black guys up front. Craig Heft fits right in there with them.
Yeah, he's a singer.
He plays
Is
the
that
keyboard,
correct?
and he sings with these two black guys, and the three of them harmonize so well.
Wow.
What a show they put on, too.
Really?
Yeah. And they get a nice crowd out there. Everybody was into it. Everyone's dancing.
Dancing.
What a show. And I just want to thank them for having me. But if you ever get a chance to check out the Soul Jam Review.
Soul Jam Review.
And I think they're going to do more shows there called The Ultimate Night Out. So
where they're doing music comedy, and
yeah.
other things like that.
So it was good.
Good.
That day I had that Fin Fest, that beach show.
Dude,
that I do
you
every
have
year.
been. Oh, I got. Who was it? Someone who went to high school with you had messaged me asking, how was the Fin Fest? I see that your friend Keegan's there. I went to high school with him.
Oh, really? Do you remember who?
Joe Fridella.
Oh, Joe Fridella. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was selling lemonade.
Yeah,
there.
so he had texted me or emailed me or something, and I'm like, I don't know. I know Mikey's been doing it for the past couple of years, and he does well. And then he mentioned the lemonade, and I'm like, it's going to be hot as balls, and people like lemonade.
I'll tell you, he moved a lot of lemonade that day.
He did?
And it was very good. So, yeah, they had, they have different vendors. They have food trucks. They had a raw bar, and they had he had his lemonade stand set up. And great lemonade. You get a quart of it.
Did you find your way into some lemonade?
I did find my way into some lemonade. Carla, me, and Juliana each got a lemonade.
Yeah. $8 a piece?
$10 but you get a full quart of the lemonade.
So you got 3 quarts of lemonade.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so no
Juliana,
discount for being Mike Keegan.
I guess
high
not.
school?
Huh?
Yeah.
You figure, $10, maybe $8 would have been nice, but whatever, Joe
or
Fridella.
or $20 for 3. We went to high school together.
Exactly. Here's one of that, because I got one. I got the one without even sugar in it. I just said, I just have a no sugar option.
Just give me pledge.
It was basically it was lemons and water. Come on, Joe. No, but
Can I just have water?
But it was delicious. Called the Lemon People, I believe it's called.
The Lemon People. Yeah.
And Juliana got the watermelon lemonade. Phenomenal.
You used to call Asians that, I think.
Oh my! What's with you tonight, Mark? Wow. Oh,
the other thing wasn't a racist thing. I was saying
it wasn't racist at all.
My friend Rachel told me that joke. Oh God.
I'll believe that you were telling that joke with full innocence, but it was just like it fit in a little bit too.
I don't know why. What was? I don't even know what the
Because
original.
we were talking about a black,
Yeah.
and then
I said
another black,
KFC.
and then you said KFC.
Oh, I did not even think of that.
Yeah, all right.
No, I swear to
okay,
God.
all right.
I swear to God, I did not even think of that. That's funny though. That would have been funny if I thought it like that. No, I was saying because of the dark meat chicken.
If you were only as funny as you are unintentionally funny.
That's right. No, I was not making a chicken joke to that, but that would have been
You were
good.
thinking the dark breasts.
Yeah.
I got
That would have
you.
been good if you made that joke.
It would have been good, and I'm
Okay.
actually kind of mad that I didn't.
Yeah, no. Okay, got it. So you had the lemonade. You had a good time at FinFest. You
time at
did some
FinFest.
time that night?
Did some time. We had
Yeah.
a couple comics: Joe Pontillo, Fat Jay, Christian Hahn, Jeff Goldberg,
Shit.
Brandon LaCaruba, and Carla.
That's a killer show right there.
We each do 15 minutes in between bands.
Okay.
So like the band will play on the main stage, then everyone comes over to the comedy tent. Comedian
Yep.
does 15 minutes. More music, another comic comes up. So everybody gets their own 15-minute slot. So it's a lot of fun. And the lady that runs it's going to start running comedy shows at her restaurant in Island Park. So we're going to start booking some comedy shows.
Dude, I love
there.
this.
And I booked that FinFest every year. I booked the comedy on it, and it was a great
What
time.
was what's your hook to that? What's your
So years ago, she used to do it at her house in Island Park. She had a very big backyard.
Yep.
Maybe like 100 people would show up.
Yeah.
But I think just Colazo was booking it. Maybe
Okay.
or Tim Thompson back then.
Okay.
And they had a little tent in their driveway where
Yep.
a couple of comics would go up, and they'd have 5 or 10 people come and watch a comedy show.
Yep.
But it grew, and now there's a couple of thousand people go to this thing.
Son of
every
a
year.
bitch.
So they rent out this whole beach now.
Yep.
And Nora, who runs it, and I became kind of close, and she's like, "Yeah, I just want you to book the comedy on it every year."
Her name is Menorah?
Nora
Oh,
Finn,
Nora
Nora
Finn.
Finn Kelleher.
Oh, okay.
She owns Docks in Island Park, also.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep, great family, and it's for a good cause every year. It's they raise money for cancer.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome, dude. Very cool. Boy, you know what? The shows that we do, just us, they fly.
They do. I'm like, I have
They
so
fly.
much more I want to say.
I have so much more, but we're gonna hold on to it, and we have a nice little surprise. It took a little bit of time, it took a little bit of work, but we have nailed down a guest that we've wanted to get on here for quite a while.
Mike Francesa.
Mike Francesa will be
No,
here in
sorry.
studio. Now, next Tuesday, we have on a buddy of both of ours, a kind of a Long Island comedy legend from many, many years. We have Mr. Tony Landolfi in studio next week,
Yep.
and we're super stoked about it. He's going to be a fucking killer guest.
Dude, always. Dude, guys.
Yeah.
The guy's got a personality and a half.
He's a love. He's a total good man. And,
I
I'm
was a
excited.
fan of his comedy before I started doing comedy.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm looking forward to having him. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot
so
of fun.
we will see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you, Tony. Great production work as always. Keegs, I'm glad you made it tonight. Tony Landolfi, we'll see you next week. As always, and this is not white noise. It's important because in order for us to keep doing this show, we need it to grow. And so we ask you that you share it, which is one person even. Share it, put it on your Facebook wall, send it in a text message, whatever you got to do. Let people know. If you're enjoying this show, let people know about it. We appreciate you. We will see you next week, and we love you. Peace out.
Thank you.